Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to another Manchester United transfer stream, and we're back. I know that over the past few weeks, I haven't really been uploading as regularly as I would have liked, and I do apologise for that. And I'm really sorry because I really enjoy making this type of content. I have a really busy, month almost with exams and things like that. But I'm back, and I want to provide as regular content for you guys as possible. And also, I want to give my thoughts on all the latest Man United transfer news, as well as get your thoughts on it as well. Because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that are the most important on this channel, because you guys make the channel. On today's stream, without further ado, we're going to be talking about Wan-Bissaka, who really seems to be the main topic of discussion around Manchester United transfer news. But also we're going to be talking about the Juan Mata news that broke today, that Mata is potentially going to be extending his contract at Manchester United. So I'll be giving my thoughts on that, and as well as we go through, please let me know your thoughts as well. I welcome as well to Dazza and Billy T. Thanks for joining, guys, as always. Really appreciate it. And before we get into it, make sure you leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are 4 off 640 subscribers, so please do help us out if you want to share all that sort of good stuff with this video. That really does help the channel out, and thank you very much for joining. And as I said, as we go through, please do make sure you're leaving your thoughts in the live chat, because I want to hear what you guys have to say. But we're going to start with Wan-Bissaka news. Now, the reports are saying that the latest bid from Manchester United has been rejected from Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace initially, Man United came in with a bid of around £40 million, and they rejected that bid. Now, Crystal Palace after that said they wanted something around £60 million. So United went away, and we came back with a bid of what seemed like, on the face of it, £50 million. When in reality, it was £35 million cash, plus a potential £15 million in add-ons. And Crystal Palace had then rejected that offer, saying that they want a solid offer of £50 million for Wan-Bissaka. And a lot of United fans, including myself, are saying, why can't we just pay that? Why can't we just pay the £50 million if we're going to be offering the £15 million in add-ons anyway? Why not just pay the £50 million up front? Of course, I'm not too sure about the complexities, let's say, of the Manchester United transfer fund. I'm not sure whether we've got hundreds of millions to play with, but I feel like we shouldn't be bargaining over, 10, 15 million pounds. Yes, Ed Woodward, being the person that he is, a businessman, he wants to get the best deal possible. He wants to get the best value for money, which I can understand. You want to get value for money, especially in this inflated market. But haggling over 10, 15 million, when we really need to strengthen that right back position, Ashley Young, frankly, isn't going to cut it. And yes, Dalot is up and coming, and I would love to see Dalot play week in, week out for Manchester United. That is definitely a position that we need to strengthen. So I feel like getting Wan-Bissaka in would be a brilliant summer, and hopefully it would kickstart a really good summer of bringing in players in that will help us rebuild this club and take it back to its former glory. But I think ultimately, Wan-Bissaka, 50 million. Considering Crystal Palace were looking for 60 million initially, of course that was only according to reports, I think paying 50 million up front for Wan-Bissaka wouldn't be too bad whatsoever. Of course, Crystal Palace know that he's basically one of their best players. Behind Wilfried Zaha, I think Wan-Bissaka is probably their most valuable player. So they're going to know that when Man United comes calling, they can bump up the price to what what they think they can get from us, because they're going to want to squeeze every single penny out of the deal. So for me, £50 million, considering they're wanting 60 or 70 million, I think we should take that all day long. But please let me know what you guys think about that in the live chat as well. Sickball says it's been a while, bro. Yeah, I know. Thanks for joining. It has been a while. It has been a few weeks since I have done content like this, and I have been doing regular content like this as well. So I want to get back into it. I want to, because I really enjoy these kind of streams. I want to get back into it, and hopefully this is the first of many streams you will see over the course of the summer as well. And as Daryl says, I do use a green screen for these streams, so that's why you can see Old Trafford behind me. Of course, I'm not at Old Trafford, as you know, but yeah, I've got Old Trafford behind me, and if you want, there's loads of good shops online where you can buy green screens and YouTube tutorials on how to set up the green screens as well. So I wish you good luck with that. Welcome to the Football Crew Show as well. Thanks for joining. He says, I still see United doing business on deadline day. I'm feeling a bit calm and relaxed. Well, I like that. I do like that. Of course, a lot of Man United fans on social media aren't feeling the same way as you, because a lot of people are getting very, very worried, very stressed about the lack of activity, especially in a transfer window, which a lot of people are saying was going to be one of the most important transfer windows in recent history, due to the massive rebuild job that we have to do to get back amongst the top teams in England. Because let's face it, we are far away from the likes of Man City and Liverpool. We finished about 20 points behind them last season. We shouldn't be like that, and I think ultimately we need to strengthen in the summer. We need to let players go, and it has started slowly. But as I said, I feel quite calm myself. I feel like it will pick up sooner. And hopefully sooner rather than later. Billy T says Mata should have been sold. We need to get the deadwood out. He's been a good player for us, but it's time to move on. Well, I will be talking a bit about Juan Mata in just a second. But very, very good point, I think, from you. Killer Clutchy Gaming. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. But thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, please do make sure you subscribe. That would be absolutely brilliant. Also, leave a like as well. He says, Woodward's like someone playing Football Manager without knowing what the fuck they're doing. He's ineffective and incompetent in every aspect other than sponsors. And they're going to dry up if this farce continues. I think that's a brilliant. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head, mate. You hit the nail on the head. Woodward is a businessman. He's very, very good at getting those sponsorship deals over the line. And I think Woodward potentially, if he was still in the business side of the club, I wouldn't mind that. But he's definitely not someone who should be making, really important footballing decisions. I mean, who ever thought that someone like Ed Woodward would be the ideal candidate to make footballing decisions at a club as big as Manchester United? I don't understand it. But there you go. That just just sums up the shambles that Manchester United are in at the moment. Dazza says, looks like we have to pay the original price tag, 70 million for Wan-Bissaka. Well, I hope not. I feel like Wan-Bissaka, yes, he's a decent player. Probably one of the best fullbacks in the league last season. I'm not sure whether he's worth 70 million. I've got to be honest. I mean, it depends what school of thought you are. It depends whether you're in the school of thought of, pay the money and ask questions later, or whether you want to get the best out of the deal. And ideally, you get the best of both worlds. But in this sort of transfer market, it's not going to be that easy. So please let me know what you think. Do you think we should pay the full amount of 70 million if it does get that way? Or do you think we should still, we should still try and keep haggling for the price and try and get the best deal possible for our club? Let me know what you guys think about that. But that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A bit of talk about him, of course. And if you guys have got any other stories or news that you want me to talk about on the stream tonight, make sure you let me know in the live chat. Before we get on to Juan Mata, Football Crew Show says Real Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, is better than Woodward because he knows what direction the club wants to go and get the players that he needs to rebuild the team. I mean, look, Florentino Perez is definitely showing a lot more ambition in the transfer window than Ed Woodward. Real Madrid have already spent nearly £300 million on players, including Eden Hazard. And you could tell how cutthroat those Real Madrid fans were when Eden Hazard was being presented at Real Madrid. It wasn't enough for them. It really wasn't enough for them. It's mental, absolutely mental. Those Real Madrid fans were chanting Kylian Mbappe's name at Hazard's unveiling. I mean, that just shows how ruthless they are as a club. But Real Madrid, it's clear to see they've got a lot more money to spend than us. In my opinion, anyway. I just don't see how Man United can have that sort of funds and not spend it. But you may be right. I think in terms of ambition, I think Florentino Perez is doing a brilliant job at Real Madrid, and you can't fault him. And I think Real Madrid, it won't be too long until they're back among Europe's elite. And yeah, I think we all wish that Ed Woodward and other people at the top of Manchester United had a similar sort of ambition for the club as well. And welcome to the Watford Hornet. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Make sure you go check out his channel as well. Some great stuff on there. He says, just made a diss track on Vizza. He's making a vid on it tomorrow. Well, there you go. I mean, I do know Vizza. I mean, no, as in, I know his channel. I don't know him personally. I've seen a few of his videos. So, yeah, good luck to you, mate. Let's see what happens with that. I might watch that video if you're going to be in it. So, yeah. But thanks for joining as well anyway. But yeah, very, very exciting times indeed. But we're going to talk about Juan Mata now and his potential contract extension. Now, a lot of people are echoing what Billy said earlier in the live chat, which is that this is not a good thing for Manchester United. A lot of United fans are arguing that we should have got rid of players like Juan Mata. And yes, he has been a really good servant for us. When he came to Manchester United under David Moyes, he was Chelsea's player of the season, one of the best players in the Premier League at the time. And it just didn't really seem to work out for Juan Mata at Manchester United. But actually, I thought he has been quite a consistent performer for us over the years. And you have to say he's a really, a classy man, self-respecting. Everyone loves him at Manchester United, and not even just at Man United, but in football as well. And he didn't play too much last season. I think he's not the type of player that you would associate with a kind of rebuild and a revamp of the club. I think a lot of people are looking towards, bringing in a younger alternative, a replacement for him. But it seems like Solskjaer does give Mata a lot of support, and likes Mata and plays him a lot. So it's interesting. It really is interesting to kind of see that, and I'm conflicted on this. I am conflicted on the news. I feel like, what, Juan Mata, he's a decent player. You have to say he has been a good player for us, but to keep him, especially with the fact that we should be looking really to bring in new players and take out the deadwood, it's an interesting decision. And obviously this deal hasn't fully gone through yet, but of course Juan Mata's contract, I think, runs out on the 1st of July, so they're looking to extend his contract, and I feel like he can add something to the dressing room potentially. I feel like, with his Premier League experience, he can add something to the dressing room in that sense. But in terms of footballing ability and in terms of how he would fit into the new style of the team that we're hoping to build, I don't see it. I don't really see it. So for me, I wouldn't have minded either way whether Mata was staying or going. So a lot of people are saying, I think I would say the majority of people I've seen tweet about it on Twitter are saying that Mata staying isn't exactly the best thing for Manchester United. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Please let me know what you guys have to say. I'm interested to know if you guys would have kept Juan Mata, or would you have, tried, said, what, mate, you've had a good run at Manchester United, but unfortunately you're not part of the plans, and we need to bring somebody else in who can kind of replace Mata in the squad. Some people, I would say, would argue that Mata could be a good squad player, and I think Juan Mata, he has got ability. There's no doubt about it. Really, I think actually his play in the midfield, in terms of his pass accuracy, his vision, is very, very good. And he's also a calm head in front of goal as well, which is always valuable within a squad. So I think, as I said, Mata can offer us something if he does stay. But I think ultimately, in terms of the rebuild job that we have to do, I think it's better that we do try and, get rid of some players and make some space for some more younger players and some different players to come in to the squad. Football Cruise Show, as it says Mata will probably be here till January, market maybe, but he will leave in the winter. So the Football Cruise Show thinks Mata will leave in the January transfer window. And I think, that could be a good shout, potentially. I don't see too many clubs circling for Juan Mata's signature, I'm going to be honest, but you never know what could happen. But I do feel like Man United are going to extend his contract. And as I said, I don't think I'd feel too down about it if he did. I wouldn't really feel too I mean, I think, as I said, I can see the benefits and I can see the potential negatives. Welcome to Yash. Long time no see, buddy. Thanks for joining, Yash. Really appreciate it. He says, such a bad start to the transfer window. Every other team is trying to rob us. Yeah, I know. But look, yeah, it has been slow. Of course, Daniel James, we did the video on him. If you want to go check out my reaction to Daniel James coming to United, please do let me, go and check it out on the channel. But yeah, Daniel James, of course, is an exciting young signing in my opinion. But hopefully we do see a lot more signings than that. I was hoping that signing coming through was going to kind of start the domino effect of signings coming through the door at Manchester United. Didn't seem to go that way, but I think Daniel James is going to be a good addition to the club. But yeah, of course, we've been kind of linked with about 25,000 other players in this transfer window already, but we're Man United fans. We've been through this before. We know the drill. It's not new to us. And Wan-Bissaka just seems to be the player that's next in line, and it looks like we are making substantial bids for him, to be fair. But I think a lot of people are hoping we can get some deals over the line before the team join up for pre-season training on the 1st of July. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself does feel the same way, because he'll want to get his squad in order, ready for the 1st of July, because it really, really is valuable to have your squad ready and be bedded into the team before that Premier League season starts. By the way, Yash, don't worry about it, mate. I've been very, very busy as well. I think I've only uploaded 2 videos this past month, so don't worry about it at all, Yash. Don't worry about it at all. Welcome to TTX. Thanks for joining. He says, yet another transfer window where Woodward's in charge. I mean, is that the problem? I think a lot of United fans, including myself, want Woodward gone. I think he's an absolute weasel, a blood-sucking leech from this club. And yes, he's good at the business side of things. He's great at bringing in sponsors like wine sponsors or Tinder. But ultimately, he can't sign a player to save his life. He can't. He keeps bargaining over like 5 million quid. We're Manchester United. We should be paying the money for the player and just asking questions later. Now, I know, as I said before, you want to be looking at what's the best for the deal. You don't want to be spending 100 million for a player that's actually worth 50. But when you're haggling over like 5 million with a player that we could really do in our squad, like a Wan-Bissaka, like potentially a Harry Maguire or a Koulibaly, these sort of players which really would strengthen our team, I don't understand the haggling. We need to bring in these sort of players. So, again, Ed Woodward is a very frustrating character. I'm just hoping he can pull something out of the bag. Football Crucial says, bring back David Gill. He was a legend, absolute legend. Him and Sir Alex Ferguson were just the dream team. We had some brilliant transfer windows. I mean, there was a transfer window when we brought in Nemanja Vidic, Edwin van der Sar, and Patrice Evra in one transfer window. All 3 of those players have gone on to be Manchester United legends. That is the level of scouting that we had with David Gill, and that's what you get by having a proper football man in charge of the negotiations. When you've got someone like Ed Woodward who, doesn't know the next thing about football, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Welcome to Ricky. Welcome, Ricky. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. He says Herrera is allowed to leave for free, but we're more than happy to sign up 34-year-old Ashley Young and 31-year-old Mata. Brilliant. Well, that is a good point that we are discussing right now, the Juan Mata situation, and a lot of people would agree with you, I have to say, on the fact that we should be looking to bring in new blood. We should be looking to rebuild the club, bring in new blood, and to keep someone like Ashley Young. I think Juan Mata, you could kind of argue both ways. But to keep Ashley Young, I'm sorry, but it's beyond belief how you could watch his performances last season and think, you know what, let's give him a new contract. I don't understand that whatsoever. I do not understand. I don't know whether a Solskjaer or the backroom staff have been drinking before games. But honestly, watching Ashley Young this season and saying he justifies a new contract is mind blowing. But again, I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, and Ashley Young could prove me wrong. And I hope he does prove me wrong. Kilakachi says, I can see Bruno Fernandes, a player that we're desperate for going elsewhere because Woodward's scrabbling around to save tuppence attitude. Exactly what I mean. And we saw it with Ivan Perisic. Do you remember when we were linked with Ivan Perisic? Jose Mourinho wanted Ivan Perisic, but Woodward was bargaining over 5 million bloody quid for Ivan Perisic. We could have really done with a winger. And yes, maybe Perisic wasn't on the top of the list of a lot of people's, kind of winger list. But actually, Ivan Perisic, we could have done with him. And I think actually, if we were to have got Perisic, he would have done a lot better last season than someone like a Jesse Lingard or an Anthony Martial, for example. So again, we miss out on these players because we're haggling and we're not giving the club what they want, and ultimately we don't get the player, and we miss out, and that's what happens. So yeah, it's really frustrating. TTX says, Ed Woodward, stick your lube sponsor and hire a director of football. Exactly. I mean, we have been linked as well with a director of football from Leicester City, I believe. So we'll keep you updated on the channel on that as well. So if any news on that happens, we will be going live and we'll be talking about that as well. But yeah, I think director of football is definitely something we need. I mean, Ed Woodward making footballing decisions in a club as big as Manchester United. You've got to be joking. You have to be joking. Ricky says, forgot to mention Mata got a 3-year deal. Right? I mean, I think 3 years was a bit much in hindsight. Yes, I think Mata has been a great player for us. He's done decent things for us. But a 3-year deal for a player that's 31, I don't think he's got enough in him to give us 3 really good years. I think potentially he's got 1 more good year in him, maybe, as a squad player, but 3 years I think does seem a bit much. But as I said, you guys let me know what your thoughts in the live chat. Yash says, we are looking for new young players, but we still need a few experienced players. Bale not be a bad loan signing, I guess. Well, I'm sad to say that on reports on Gareth Bale, his agent has come out and said that it's very, very unlikely that Gareth Bale will be leaving on loan to a different club, never mind Manchester United. And to be honest with you, there'll be some Man United fans out there who will hear me say that and will breathe a huge sigh of relief. But I think Gareth Bale, he's not a bad player. He's definitely not a bad player. But with the injuries, I think, with the injuries, he's very injury prone. And there is questions as to whether he can play on his own without, good players around him. There's a question there. And also, would he give 100% for Manchester United, or would it be only for the money? Because, let's face it, if Bale was to come on loan, he would get a massive salary from Manchester United. He would have a wad of cash in his back pocket every year. Would he be playing for Man United for the badge, or would he be playing for the money? And I think we need players in this day and age. Within this rebuild, we need players that are going to play for the badge. And if they're not going to play for the badge, there's no point. Absolutely no point. TTX says, Ollie says he's ruthless. Yeah, he gives Young, Jones and Mata new contracts. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would say that it's not a great sign. I mean, those 3 players are definitely people that, have been highlighted time and time again for players that we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of the deadwood players that almost signify the mess that we're in at the moment. And unfortunately, I feel like the only way they're going to be leaving is potentially in the next few years when their contracts run out again. But I think we are going to see Phil Jones and Chris Smalling staying at Manchester United. I think we're going to see that. Ricky says, I think he's been finished since this season. IMO's best years are over. I think so. I think I'd agree with you, Ricky, on that one. But yeah, I think it's a very frustrating transfer window. It's a very, very frustrating transfer window. And as a Man United fan, we're very helpless. We have to sit back and just hope something happens. And we know the nature of Ed Woodward is that deals get drawn out really, really long. We have really, really long saga, and ultimately most of those long transfer sagas come to nothing in the end. And that's just how it is. And we have to live with that as Man United fans. Of course, Ed Woodward hopefully one day will depart from Manchester United, and we will see someone who actually has a bloody clue about the game that he's in charge of. So until that day comes, we are going to have Ed Woodward as the director of football. Sorry, man, I keep pronouncing your name wrong. Killer Kalachi Gaming says, any news on Pogba's attempted escape? Well, that was the big news as well during the week, that Paul Pogba came out and said that he's looking for a new challenge, even after he didn't really finish his old challenge at Manchester United. In fact, if he does leave, you could say that he failed his old challenge at Manchester United. Of course, Pogba's been linked with moves to Juventus and Real Madrid in recent weeks. And I think a lot of United fans as well did expect Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United, but I think a lot of people were a bit shocked to think that Pogba was going to be leaving this transfer window. But no, I don't have any more news on Pogba's attempted escape, as you put it there. I feel like Pogba will leave. I think the fact that Pogba's gone public with it, I think, is either an elaborate attempt by him to get a new bumper deal at Manchester United, or it's an attempt to kind of make Manchester United make a move in terms of either getting rid of him or doing really, really drastic stuff to keep him. But by going public with it, I think it does seem like Pogba will be on his way this season. I think we'll see another really long, drawn out transfer saga. And I think it will be between Juventus and Real Madrid to see where he goes. I think it'd be very interesting to see him go back to Juventus. But I feel like Real Madrid is his next big challenge, of course, under the management of Zinedine Zidane, someone who Pogba idolised. Sorry, I'm just hearing the TV. I was hearing the TV something about Wan-Bissaka. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, ultimately, I feel like Pogba will be leaving in the summer. And if he does, we need to replace him. Ricky says, I hope Pogba leaves. I'm fed up of hearing Pogba and Manchester United in the same sentence. I think a lot of people are on the same page. They're just fed up of all the speculation, of all the kind of, Pogba comments and everything like that. They're fed up of all the drama surrounding Paul Pogba. And yes, on his day, Pogba could be very, very good, but I think he just wasn't consistent enough. He just was not consistent enough. And Killer Kalachi Gaming says, bet he's digging a tunnel as we speak. Yeah, I know. Probably with a spoon and a fork, just digging a tunnel and just trying to go anywhere. I mean, he's in Asia at the moment doing his Adidas tour. Of course, a lot of people would say that just shows how much he cares more about the sponsors that he's with rather than the football he's playing, which maybe they've got a point. Maybe they do have a point. And as I said, we need players who are going to want to play for the badge. But yeah, Pogba, this news will be going on throughout the summer. And as I said, I will be, trying to keep you up to date with that as it goes on. But in terms of this video, I think we're just about done. I think we've talked about all the latest Man United news. As I said, there's not too much substantial Man United news that's really come out. But when there is, I'll make sure that I go live for you guys and I give my opinion on it, because that is what this channel is about. But thank you very much for joining, guys. As always, really appreciate all of your support on tonight's stream. If you are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. That'd be absolutely fantastic. On the road to 640 subscribers. And please do leave a like on the stream as well. Can we get 10 likes on this stream? That'd be absolutely brilliant. I really do appreciate it. All the likes really do help the channel out. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this is the return of more regular content as it used to be on the channel before the season ended. But that's going to be me over for the time being. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next bit of Man United transfer news come out, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys then. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.